Hello, everybody, and welcome to Friday Apocryphal Podcast, your one-stop shop for everything Friday Apocryphal and podcast. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today, we are covering Jubilees, chapters 25 through 27. And it's episode 51.
Yeah, we've been doing this for almost a year.
Almost a year, and we've covered a couple of books.
A good amount of books, I think. Well, we covered Enoch. We've covered the Wisdom of Ben Sira.
Yeah, we covered First, Second Maccabees.
Yeah, that's true. We did that one.
Yep.
Those as well.
I think that's all of them.
Yeah.
And this, we're in the middle.
We're getting there.
Yep.
This is quite a long one. Let's be fair.
But, yep, we're talking about Esau and Jacob.
We're continuing that story.
Out of order.
It is. Some of it's out of order. Yeah, absolutely.
Oof, it's
recontextualized and
bunch of stuff
some
left
stuff
out,
glossed over.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? We will cover it all because we have a whole bunch of we have some commentaries with us, and we got a very good translation, I think.
Yeah. Well, I have the James C. Vanderkim Jubilees, the Hermenia translation.
And you know what? I have the same thing, except it's the commentary one. So it's that plus the commentary, also from James C. Vanderkam, the Hermenia.
So it's the same thing, but better.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, so if any of you out there are wondering which of these two books that you should get.
I mean, that one's cheaper.
This one's cheaper. It costs less to make. Right?
But this one is great. It's fantastic. Hermenia just has some fantastic commentaries.
Yeah. It's all good.
Yeah.
So, Rebecca and Jacob, chapter 25. Anything you want to say about this before we get into it?
Yes, I do. We were just covering how some of the stuff is in a different order. This is one of those things. So the author of Jubilees relocates a form of the story before Isaac mishandles the blessing of the older son found in Genesis 27 and also Jubilees 26 and the ensuing events. As a result, the account is unaffected by Esau's desire for revenge and the danger in which it placed Jacob. Rather, Rebekah's instruction to Jacob, spoken directly to him, which in Genesis we don't really get much of that interaction between Rebekah and Jacob. Like, I think that there are a couple times where she does talk to him, but he doesn't reply in Genesis.
Right.
Yeah. I think that's about it. But either way, Rebekah's instructions to Jacob, spoken directly to him, build on the negative example of Esau's marriages. Of course, he married the Ishmaelite, at least in Genesis, or an Ishmaelite. Genesis mentions those unions at the end of chapter 26 after Isaac's dealings with the Philistines. And then he goes on to quote it. One of the things that I found kind of neat was some of the textual history behind this section. It's not really much that I'll hit on, but apart from the full Ge'ez, that's the Ethiopian text of the chapter, there is only a little evidence from the versions. Part of verse 1 is legible on the Latin manuscript, and 4Q 222 fragment 1 has words and letters found from verses 9 through 12.
So I'm looking ahead through this chapter, and there's some verses in 25 that are taken out and put after a certain point in 26.
So in 25, we'll get to that.
Yeah. So like this section is 26:10 through. Oh no, I'm misreading that. No, they just happen to stop on a 25. Here.
Okay.
Yeah, but
everything's good then?
Yep, everything's good.
We can start with the reading.
We did run into that in some books, though.
Yeah, absolutely. Where stuff was, especially in Ben Sira, when stuff was just...
That was all over the place.
It really was. If
the amount of textual corruption was hard to tolerate.
Yeah, stuff was just very, very much out of order, and we were just no one was really sure. We had a Xerox scholar on.
Yeah, he was great. We
Yes.
should have him on
We
more
should.
often.
We should, right?
Yeah, we should have him on
For the alphabet.
now.
Yeah. For the alphabet, definitely.
Yeah, for the alphabet. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, anything else? Do you wanna-
No. We can hop into the readings.
Okay. Then I'll start. 25:1. In the second year of this week, in this Jubilee, 2109, Rebekah summoned her son Jacob and spoke to him. My son, do not marry any of the Canaanite women, like your brother Esau was married 2 wives from the descendants of Canaan.
Yeah, so here is something, a slight difference from the Genesis account. So in Jubilees, I just read, Rebekah summoned her son Jacob and spoke to him. In Genesis, then Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him, you shall not marry one of the Canaanite women. So yeah, that's quite different on who's actually doing the speaking there. So some of the commentary. The year after Isaac's unfortunate encounter with the Philistine leaders, Rebekah took charge of matters by summoning Jacob. In bidding him to come to her, this redoubtable mother did something that no other woman does in Genesis. She summons Jacob in 27:42. Where patriarchs are the ones who acquire the presence of others. Her command that Jacob come to her is modeled on Isaac's action in Genesis 28:1, and her words to him are also based on Isaac's instructions to his younger son in Genesis 28:2-4. Those words, however, the writer transforms into a more characteristically Jubilean speech, which we just covered. The writer of Jubilees does not reproduce and blessed him here because the expression will become appropriate only later in the chapter. Otherwise, the version in Jubilees, for the most part, simply replaces Isaac with Rebekah and reduces the number of verbs of speaking from 3 to 2, from 4 to 3 in the Hebrew and Ethiopic texts. Okay. It is noteworthy that in Genesis and Jubilees, the forbidden women are identified as Canaanites. Yeah. Of course, that makes sense.
Yep. You can't marry them. You can't have anything to do with them.
Canaanites.
Really. Yep. Get off my lawn. They have embittered my life with all the impure things that they do. Because everything they do consists of sexual impurity and lewdness. They have no decency because what they do is evil.
You know, we could all use a little bit of that sexual lewdness.
No.
That is what? Not on this show.
Yeah, this is Cooking with Lawrence.
Not on this show. I, my son, love you very much. My heart and my affection bless you at all times of the day and watches of the nights. Now, my son, listen to me. Do as your mother wishes. Do not marry any of the women of this land, but someone from my father's house and my father's clan.
Listen to your mother.
Whoa, that's kind of messed up.
Well, so there was actually some commentary here about the.
That's messed up.
Can you imagine if instead of like you gotta marry a nice Jewish girl, your mom was like, you have to marry someone from my father's family?
Yeah. Sorry. What? So that was verse 4, right?
That was verse. That was half of verse 3.
Oh, that was half of verse 3. Okay. Well.
Whoa, too quickly.
All right. You know what? Just finish verse 3.
Yeah, marry someone from my father's house. The Most High God will bless you. Your family will be a righteous family, and your descendants will be holy. Now I'm on verse 4.
Okay. So yeah, out of her warm affection for him, she gives him proper instructions about marriage, and of course, you know that's we got that it was very proper. He's like, listen to your mother and all that. Jacob is not to take any woman of this land, but is to wed someone from the family. The book of Jubilees is adamant about endogamy, and Rebekah is the only one who commends it forcefully to her all-important son. If he obeys her orders, she asserts it will unleash the patriarchal blessing of descendants who will also be righteous and holy. And
you know,
we saw how that turned out.
So earlier, Jubilees mentioned Lot, right?
Yes.
And when it mentioned Lot, it said that he had committed a sin by sleeping with his daughter.
Yeah.
They didn't like him a lot.
This lady is demanding that her son sleeps with one of her siblings.
As long as it's not a Canaanite.
As long as it's not. I guess that's the only option.
So furthermore into this, her instructions mirror those Abraham had given when arranging for a wife for Isaac. He had ordered the senior servant on his staff to swear that you will not get a wife for my son from the daughters of the Canaanites among who I live, yada, yada, yada. So Isaac, at Rebekah's behest, did the same in Genesis 28, 1-2, when he spoke to Jacob. Here again, Isaac's words that Jubilees will reproduce in 27:10 are replaced in Rebekah's mouth first. She does not, however, mention the family of her brother Laban, but in part echoes the words of Isaac in Genesis 28:2, the house of Bethuel, your mother's father, and of Abraham in Genesis 24:4, to my kindred. Where in Genesis 28:3, Isaac calls on God Almighty to bless Jacob, Rebekah addresses the Most High God for this purpose. And then, that was right at the end there. Between the expected benediction on the individual himself and the gift of descendants, she interposes the prediction that his family will be righteous. For holy descendants, see Deuteronomy 7:6, part of a passage forbidding exogamy. That's, marriage outside of the family lines. Or the race, I guess. While Rebekah utters words familiar from blessings in Genesis, the noteworthy fact is that a woman speaks them. This passage and the prayers in verses 11-23 below are the most outstanding instances in Jubilees of the enhanced stature she attains in the book. She perceived Jacob's character and place before Isaac did, and she again precedes her husband, this time in seeking the welfare of Jacob and of the chosen family. So obviously Rebekah is being portrayed as she's onto things before Isaac there.
Yep.
So that's some high regard.
Wonderful. Then Jacob spoke with his mother Rebekah and said to her, Mother, I am now 9 weeks of years, 63 years.
There you go.
And have known no woman. I have neither touched one, nor have I even considered marrying any woman of all the descendants of Canaan's daughters.
Instead, I was thinking about marrying a dude. What do you think, Mom?
Yeah, and Jubilees. That'd be a wild change.
That would be a wild change.
Well, couldn't you imagine? We're just like rolling along here, and it's like
he's a 63-year-old virgin.
Yeah, and Moses was walking through the desert with his boyfriend.
That would certainly take me by surprise.
It would take me by surprise too. I guess not now because I've predicted it.
Okay.
Yeah, no, he's got it.
Yep.
That's what's going to happen.
Yep. For I recall, Mother, what our father Abraham ordered me, that I should not marry anyone from all the descendants of Canaan's house.
Oh, maybe. Okay, actually, yeah, keep going. Sorry.
For I will marry someone from the descendants of my father's house and from my family. Earlier, I heard, Mother, that daughters.
I should probably hit on that real quick.
Okay.
So the kind of language about the Canaanites' daughters and whatnot is used all throughout Genesis multiple times. Genesis 28 especially. But either way, the same language is used in verse 5. You just finished verse 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The occasion to which Jacob appeals was when Abraham gave his final order to his grandson, especially the ones about separating from the nations. In Jubilees 22:20, he had said to Jacob, "Be careful, my son Jacob, not to marry a woman from all the descendants of Canaan's daughters, because all of his descendants are meant for being uprooted from the earth." Jacob, Abraham's true son, in quotes there, of course, obeying what his grandfather commanded him. As a result, he announces that he will marry someone from the descendants of my father's house and from my family. By my father's house, he should mean Abraham's clan, because his own father's house contained no marriageable women. Abraham had not demanded that he marry within the family. Jubilees does not reproduce Abraham's instruction to his servant on the matter in Genesis 24. But it was an easy interference from avoiding marriage with Canaan's daughters. That would work. On this score, he echoes Rebekah's words in verse 3.
All right. Earlier I heard, mother, that daughters had been born to your brother Laban. I have set my mind on them for the purpose of marrying one of them. For this reason, I have kept myself from sinning and from becoming corrupted in any ways during my entire lifetime, because Father Abraham gave me many orders about lewdness and sexual impurity. Despite everything...
Totally ruined the kid.
Yeah.
How old is he? 60-something?
63.
And he hasn't touched a girl.
And he
hasn't even
thinks
thought about it.
The only appropriate girls to touch are his family members.
Ew.
Yep, but if you want to keep that genetic, if you want to keep that lineage going,
That's
yeah,
pretty gross. Judeo-Christian morals. Despite everything he ordered me, my brother has been quarreling with me for the last 22 years and has often said to me, "My brother, marry one of the sisters of my two wives."
we totally get why Esau would be mad, why they'd be quarreling for so long.
Yeah.
It's the whole birthright thing.
Yeah.
I get it.
He was starving to death.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you look at the rest of the Torah, it does tell you that you're supposed to leave food out on your lands for people who don't have any, right?
Sure.
So, shouldn't have asked for anything in return.
Especially the birthright.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing that you can just give to somebody, but okay.
Yeah, you want my birthright?
I wish I could do that. I would totally sell my birthright.
All right, I'll give you some soup.
Yeah.
It's not even good. It's red. Some weird, gross red soup.
In return,
It's borscht.
I'll give you my birthright.
For soul?
In return, I'll give you my birthright. You can take that trip to Israel. I don't want it.
Oh, okay, I'm not taking it either.
Oh,
Okay.
you should take it so that you can avoid the birthright group and just go find things that are
Oh,
neat.
okay. Yeah, that does sound better.
Find yourself
or-
a nice Jewish girl.
Or perhaps I don't do that at all.
Oh, well,
That's another way of avoiding the birthright group.
You could probably see some cool, archaeology.
Yeah, Google Maps is
The
amazing.
pictures are neat, right?
Google Maps isn't that good.
Actually, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. It's not that great, though. I'm unimpressed, Google. Susan, you can tell him. But I have not been willing to do as he did. I swear in your presence, mother, that during my entire lifetime, I will not marry any of the descendants of Canaan's daughters, nor will I do what is wrong as my brother Esau has done. Do not be afraid, mother, and be assured that I will do as you wish. I will behave rightly and will never conduct myself corruptly. Then she lifted her face to heaven, extended her fingers, and opened her mouth. She blessed the Most High God, who had created the heavens and the earth, and gave him thanks and praise.
Before we get into the prayer part of this. So Jacob further incriminates his brother by charging that Esau had been badgering him for the last 22 years to marry a sister of his Hittite wives. According to Genesis 26, 34 through 35, Esau married the two when he, and thus his twin Jacob as well, was 40 years of age. If Jacob is now 63 years, he would be saying that almost immediately after he became a husband, Esau started pressuring Jacob to emulate his example. So true to his character, Esau disobeyed Abraham's instructions on so vital a matter as marriage. He was present for the scene in chapter 20. Yeah, that is true. Although he wasn't really being like addressed.
Right.
It kind of was like forgotten that he was even there. Like, yeah, he was. But then at the end of that, it said that he came back, which assumes that he had left at some point. So did he just like leave during the conversation?
Yeah, maybe he had to go take a piss or something.
I suppose. He missed that part.
Yeah.
Oh, man, that's a bummer.
So that was like a really long section talking about how great and pure and unsinful it is to have sex with your family members.
Well, it wouldn't be. So do you remember? I forget which law it was, but one of them, pretty much forbade you from, being with your sister or with your mother. Or with your father.
There's like immediate family members, but like there's like Abraham marries his sister, and they never make note of it being a bad
There's a half sister,
a half sister, right? So a half sister doesn't count as a sister.
Not in this case, apparently.
So like that's a different family member. So you can just like go around any of the family members that aren't in the very specific list that they make.
That's
That's what they'd like. They'd like you to do that, apparently.
But that's...
I mean, the whole... Because in reality, right, we're all related.
Right.
Yes, we are.
But
Chris is just shaking his head no.
Very little...
very, very violently.
I mean...
I got a twitchy head. What do you want?
Like, yeah, there's a point where it's like... where it, like, doesn't matter anymore. I don't know how many generations it is. But, like, it's still... Like, when you think about it, it is kind of weird, so people tend not to think about it, even if they know it.
I don't want to monkey wrench this by throwing a wrench in your equation, but epigenetics say that, we're all totes different.
All these people would be raised in pretty much the exact same environment.
I know.
There's no epigenetics happening that causes enough genetic differences between them.
There wouldn't be here.
It's just a bad idea.
I know.
They're just fortifying.
At least for, immediate family, first
the
cousins.
Qualities of speaking to people who aren't there.
Well, that's...
insanity is like a fine wine.
Yeah.
I love insanity.
You should hate wine, apparently. Yeah.
All right, let's continue with this prayer.
Okay. She said, "May the Lord God be blessed, and may his name be blessed forever and ever. He who gave me Jacob, a pure son and a holy offspring, for he belongs to you. May his descendants be yours throughout all time, throughout the history of eternity. Bless him, Lord, and place a righteous blessing in my mouth so that I may bless him." At that time, the spirit of righteousness descended into her mouth. She put her two hands on Jacob's head and said, "Blessed are you, righteous Lord, God of the ages, and may he bless you more than all the human race."
Wow.
Yeah. "My son, may he provide the right path for you and reveal what is right to your descendants. May he multiply your sons during your lifetime. May they rise in number to the months of the year. May their children be more numerous and great than the stars of the sky. May their number be larger than the sands of the sea. May he give them this pleasant land, as he said he would give it for all time to Abraham and his descendants after him. May they own it as an eternal possession. Son, may I see your blessed children during my lifetime. May all your descendants be blessed and holy descendants. As you have given rest to your mother's spirit during her lifetime, so may the womb of the one who gives birth to you bless you. My affection and my breasts bless you. My mouth and my tongue praise you greatly.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that.
This is a really awkward conversation.
Oh, it's like the talk. It's like the talk between a mom and any of their kids.
Except it's heavily advocating incest.
So let's
that talk.
Yeah.
let's continue.
Hillbilly talk.
Let's explain some of this here. So Rebecca next reverts to the relationship between herself and her special son. Why are you using those words? Okay, in that order. She begins by mentioning a benefit he has given her. Oh no, this isn't sounding very good. He has given rest to given rest to your mother's spirit. She may be referring to his reassuring words about marriage. In verses 4 through 10, she continues by employing a series of terms, several of which name feminine anatomical features to express the depth of her love for him. So yeah, we got wombs, my affection, and my breasts. After these, she mentions her mouth and tongue. The middle term in the list above, my affection, has troubled commentators. Charles bracketed it, quote, for it comes in awkwardly between womb, breasts, mouth, and tongue. I don't know, not totally. No,
it's awkward. Oh man, that's like really awkward.
I don't know. We should, if you're thinking like maybe it's, in the heart, right? The affection. So I guess that would kind of make sense. You're going up.
Just affection is sex. That. Boom. Done.
Right, but because you would have womb and I don't know. I guess it could. I can understand. We're
not looking at a chakra chart here.
No, you know what? I know they weren't looking at a chakra chart, and neither are we. But maybe they had something like that.
Yeah. Not
exactly a chart, but I don't fucking know. Like we do like the whole head, shoulders, knees, and toes thing, and.
We don't. I hated that.
Not right now. We don't. But like kids do that
ever.
Even when I was a kid. No. Never.
I'm sure you did it at some point.
I always sat out. You know me.
I'm sure you did it at least once.
I sat out my whole fucking life.
Once you probably did.
No.
Either way,
I watched those idiots do it and went, "Why would anyone do this?"
Either way, we should expect an "and" to precede it. It may be a tautography and have originated as a false alternative reading of womb. It is not possible to trace the term further back in the transmission history of Jubilees, since the Ethiopic version is the only one available here. But meratea means my affection, not my womb. It may be that the term underlying the Ethiopic noun was a form of, here's some Greek, splagna. That's a weird word.
Splagna.
Splagna. Yeah.
That's
inward parts or entrails, a noun serving as a figure for the seat of emotions. See? Told you.
Spell it?
Do you want me to spell
definitely.
that word? Okay. Sigma, pi, lambda, alpha, gamma.
No, I just want splagna.
I'm telling you, this is Greek.
Oh, can you give me the English?
I'm telling you the Greek.
I don't know how to write that.
I know you don't.
I only know alpha.
You could use alt codes to write it.
I have Greek in front of me. That does not help right now.
Good for you.
No, it doesn't.
Either way.
A helpful parallel occurs in the description of the mother whose 7 sons Antiochus tortured to death. You remember that in Second Maccabees, right? The woman and her 7 sons? The martyrdom?
And that's
they're all
organs,
martyrs, and they get the chance to, eat pork or something?
Something like that. But this here is a reference. There was another part in 4th Maccabees, apparently, which we're, I don't know if we're ever going to do that one. Maybe at some point. Either way. So Antiochus tortured them to death. 4th Maccabees 14:13. In emotion felt in her inmost parts is the quote there. Possibly the original text of Jubilees read something else. I don't know. It's in Hebrew. If so, Rebecca would have used a word for a bodily part here as well. The verse is an effusive statement that she blesses and praises Jacob with her entire motherly being. See, I wasn't even far off.
No,
I may have been
I'm
right
sure
on the
that's
dot.
what it was intended to be.
Okay. Increase and spread out in the land. May your descendants be perfect throughout all eternity. In the joy of heaven and earth, may your descendants be delighted. And on the great day of peace, may they have peace. May your name be and your descendants continue until all ages. May the Most High God be their God. May the righteous God live with them. And may his sanctuary be built among them into all ages. May the one who blesses you be blessed, and anyone who curses you falsely be cursed. She then kissed him and said to him, May the eternal Lord love you as your mother's heart and her affection are delighted with you and bless you. She then stopped blessing him. And that's the end of chapter 25. If you enjoyed that, then you can give us a like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, family, neighbors, countrymen, anyone in your Facebook feed, I guess.
Yeah, especially anyone in your Facebook feed. And you know what? Just start sending messages. They might be upset. They might think you're like stalking or harassing, but you're not. You're just advertising something wonderful.
Yeah, just use all those hashtags we were using. Use those.
You're spreading the good word. They don't even know about that. You're just you're spreading the good word. That's what you're doing.
You know about that.
We didn't say anything about
I'm
it.
not gonna anymore. I'm done. I'm sorry.
Oh my God.
I won't ruin the secret.
Oh, all right, fine. We're trying something new. Let's just say that.
It's a secret to everyone.
It is a secret, but we're just trying something new.
That reference to The Legend of Zelda. It's a secret to everyone. There
all
you
right.
go.
Anyways, so we are now in chapter 26.
Yeah, so this is dealing with Genesis 27, which begins with the statement explaining the reason Isaac summoned Esau and indirectly for the difficulties he would have in carrying out his plan. Quote, Isaac was old and his eyes were dim so that he could not see, end quote. The writer of Jubilees, who dates the event 5 years after Rebekah's blessing, incorporates the words about eye problems into Isaac's first person address to Esau, whom the text labels his older son. Though in Jubilees he had lost that status, the author also dispenses with Genesis's formulaic, quote, my son, and he answered, here I am.
He spiritually lost that status.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, verses 1 through 2 are a fairly close citation of Genesis 27, 1 through 4. Earlier, Jubilees had passed over the statement in Genesis 25, 28 that Isaac loved Esau because he was fond of game. Jubilees 19:14 says Esau was a rustic man and a hunter, reflecting Genesis 25:27. Esau was a skillful hunter, a man of the field. Now Isaac orders him to use his native talent to procure meat for a
just like Nimrod
dinner.
Just like Nimrod.
Yeah, there's
Good
some
hunter.
interesting stories about Abraham and Nimrod in the Middle East.
Are there?
Yeah.
Did you learn about those while you were doing research for the Quran thing?
Yeah. I'm not going to go into detail, but
Okay.
it's pretty wacky.
Okay. All right. Let's hop into this.
All right.
During the 7th year of this week, 2114, Isaac summoned his older son Esau and said to him, "My son, I have grown old and now have difficulty seeing, but I do not know when I will die. Now then, take your hunting gear, your quiver, and your bow, and go to the field. Hunt on my behalf and catch something for me, son. Then prepare some food for me, just as I like it, and bring it to me so that I may eat it and bless you before I die." Oh, okay. So this is all for Esau.
Yeah.
All right.
Because this is what happens in Genesis, right?
Yeah, they kind of trick him.
Yep.
Or was that somebody else?
No, this is what happens.
So
He tricks him.
oh yeah.
Rebecca,
Yeah, I remember now.
like dresses him up. And,
Yeah.
Man, you got
Yeah,
tricked
what-
again,
put like a
Lawrence?
bunch
Are
of
you
hair.
kidding me?
Like a bunch of hair on him or whatever.
Yeah.
Rebecca was listening as Isaac was talking to Esau. When Esau went out early to the open country to trap something, catch it, and bring it to his father, Rebecca summoned her son Jacob and said to him, "I have just heard your father, Isaac, saying to your brother Esau, 'Trap something for me, prepare me some food, bring it to me, and let me eat it. Then I will bless you in the Lord's presence before I die.'" That's what she heard.
Yeah, so this is basically the same as in Genesis. There's not really that many differences. There's a couple of like words that don't show up, but it's like grammatical.
Okay, gotcha. "Now, therefore, listen, my son, to what I am ordering you. Go to your flock and take for me 2 excellent kids. Let me prepare them as food for your father, just as he likes it. You are to take it to your father, and he is to eat it, so that he may bless you in the Lord's presence before he dies, and you may be blessed." But Jacob said to his mother Rebekah, "Mother, I will not be sparing about anything that my father eats and that pleases him. But I am afraid, mother, that he will recognize my voice and wish to touch me. You know that oh my God.
Yeah.
You know that I am smooth while my brother Esau is hairy."
Yeah, so this is different
I mean,
than
it's a mom, I guess.
Yeah.
than in Genesis.
Yeah.
In Genesis, he says, "Look, my brother Esau is a hairy man, and I am of smooth skin. Perhaps my father will feel me, and I shall seem to be mocking him and bring a curse on myself and not a blessing." And that's like this
Yeah.
whole
It's a little different.
Jubilees is more in depth. It has more words.
"I will look to him like a mocker. I would be doing something that he did not order me to do, and he would get angry at me. Then I would bring a curse on myself, not a blessing." But his mother Rebekah said to him, "Let your curse be on me, my son. Just obey me." She's got some issues.
Targum
Well, we
pseudo
did too.
Jonathan.
We just had a frame drop for no fucking reason. It's gone.
Okay.
It was super fast.
Okay. Targum pseudo
We got
Jonathan.
suppressed for 0.3 seconds.
Amazing.
I understand. I can't believe this happened in our modern era.
Well, Targum pseudo Jonathan, Genesis 27:13, tries to clarify what she's saying, but his mother said to him, "If he blesses you with blessings, let them come upon you and upon your children. But if he curses you with curses, let them come upon me and upon my soul. Only obey me and go and bring them to me."
Wow, that's a lot more vivid.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Read in this way, she too would probably be safe from the curse, since Isaac was the most unlikely to utter one. The author of Jubilees allows her frightening statements to stand as it is in Genesis.
Well, it happened again. That's not good.
I mean, are we still there?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, then.
I'm just concerned something's up.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I go look upstairs?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess we'll
Yeah, it's
can go
happened
look.
again.
we'll continue.
And it's staying red this time.
Hmm.
Okay.
Nope, and it's green again. I don't know what
Okay.
to
So
tell ya.
so it's audible. That's good. So is everyone in the chat? Please let us know.
Only a couple of little hiccups, yeah, but it
Okay.
keeps happening.
Hmm.
So I'm going to just go.
Okay. So if anything starts to go wrong, if you guys stop hearing us, or if there's
That's
something,
still happening. I'm going to go ask and see what's up.
you can go look up there. Yeah. So if anyone in the chat, if you notice anything off
The audio's
with either
okay.
the video or the audio, yeah, we'll take note of that. So
Okay.
all right. I'm
I've
going
seen
to.
a couple of visual, like.
I've seen
freeze
those too.
frames.
Yeah, it just stops for a second and just goes back to it.
Yeah. We didn't change anything.
We
We're
did not.
doing anything
No.
any different. Technology just works this way.
Yeah. Sometimes it's just not. I mean, technology's great and all. It's not perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, one would think that something so precise in its, when you put it together, would be more precise in its output and consistent.
I mean, it's certainly better than not having it at all.
right.
So, either way, so yeah, she basically says she'll take the blame if anything bad comes from this. So Jacob obeyed his mother Rebekah. He went and took 2 excellent fat kids and brought them to his mother. His mother prepared them as he liked them. Rebekah then took her older son Esau's favorite clothes that were present with her in the house. She dressed her younger son Jacob in them and placed the goat skins on his forearms and on the exposed parts of the neck. So yeah, dresses perfect in time for Halloween actually.
Mm-hmm.
Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Make sure to go as your brother
Yep. This is
to trick your father.
This is the Halloween special.
Oh my God. Oh, okay. So tomorrow is Halloween, right?
Yeah.
Damn.
But afterwards is what? What is
November.
it? No, November 1st is a thing. It's still part of Halloween or something.
Oh, Samhain? Or is that
Is it-
how the same as Halloween?
Is it?
Well, as
What's
hard
All
as it
Hallows
is to
Eve?
believe, my dad did one memory-intensive thing.
Okay.
What?
That's it.
Oh.
Over the Wi-Fi.
Okay, gotcha. That's what caused that. Okay.
Okay.
Anyways.
Yeah. So
So dress
Made
up like your
food.
family members. All Saints
Uh,
Day. Thank you.
All Saints Day.
Okay.
Yeah, it's All Saints Day. We can have an All Saints Day special instead of a Halloween special.
Woo, we'll bring
this
the
is
Halloween decorations.
The All Hallows Eve special, right?
That's today.
Yeah, which is why this is the special today.
Woo. Man, what a
2
festive
specials,
what a
and we don't even do
festive
a Halloween
week.
one.
Yeah,
what a
I mean,
festive week it is.
there's he's getting dressed up in
Yes,
a
he is.
costume, and
Kind of a gross one.
and
A
he's
real goat skin.
He's going to someone's house to play a trick on them to get a treat.
Wow, amazing. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Yep.
She then put the food and the bread that she had prepared in her son Jacob's hand. He went into his father and said, I am your son. I have done as you told me. Get up, have a seat, and eat some of what I have caught, father, so that you may bless me. Isaac said to his son, How have you managed to find it so quickly, my son? Oh no, he's on to him. Jacob said, it was your God who made me find it. It was your God who made me find it in front of me. Yeah, that sounds like something you'd say if caught off guard by some question.
God did it. Jacob in the Ethiopic readings attaches the divine causation to himself. He caused me to find, where the versions of Genesis have a more impersonal or indirect expression.
Gotcha, okay. Then Isaac said to him, Come close and let me touch you, my son, so that I can tell whether you are my son Esau or not. Man, this guy is just so doubtful. So he's always on the lookout. Jacob came close to his father Isaac. When he touched him, he said, "The voice is Jacob's voice, but the forearms are Esau's forearms." This is goat skin. So we're supposed to believe that Esau has his arm texture is that of goat skin.
Yeah.
It's furry.
So if you've ever gone,
Like, I mean, I have,
farm.
this isn't
You have
like
an
a
arm?
nothing amount of hair, but like
Whoa.
it's nothing like goat skin.
Mm-mm.
And like I've seen, some, very hairy arms, and none of them.
Oh, this guy
We're
had
like goat
the
skin.
mutation, the distinct one where they grow a lot of hair. Like a monkey
Like
or
a
a
goat?
wolf,
Okay.
even. So they've compared him to like that.
like a goat.
Or a goat, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. You're just a very hairy animal in general with tough hair. Some people actually have that. You can look into it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess.
Yep, he was one of those. Done.
all
Case
right.
closed.
Either way,
All that breeding together with their relatives. That's what happens.
it's he has Esau's forearms, I guess, of goat skin. He did not recognize him because there was a turn of affairs from heaven to distract his mind. That's
What verse is that?
That's verse 18. I'm going to finish off verse 18. Isaac did not recognize him because his forearms were hairy like Esau's forearms, so that he should bless him. Very strange set of sentences there.
Mm-hmm. It says.
Yeah, that's verse 18. It's after the voice is Jacob's voice, but the forearms are Esau's forearms.
The writer of Jubilees, like any reader of Genesis, was surprised that Isaac failed to notice he was touching animal skins on Jacob's forearms / hands. Then, too, could he not have done a little more investigating before botching something so momentous as a blessing? Genesis provides no explanation for this failure on Isaac's part, but Jubilees does. He did not recognize him because these first words are from Genesis 27:23. There was a turn of affairs from heaven, mitat sameh aversio erat de kailo, to distract his mind. The word for divine interference with his mind, his spirit, manfasu, seems to derive from 1 Kings 12:15 / 2 Chronicles 10:15, where King Rehoboam, ignoring sound counsel and acting on foolish advice, spoke harshly to Jeroboam and the people of the north. The historian explains his baffling behavior. So the king did not listen to the people because it was a turn of affairs brought about by the Lord, that he might fulfill his word, which the Lord has spoken by Ahijah the Shilonite. And
Yeah. So hold on. Is this so? The word that's being used there it's specifically reserved for trying to explain something that like a holy man or a righteous man has done that was just stupid.
it appears so,
Okay.
because it was brought up because God did it. This is literally a because God.
It does seem like that. Yeah. Really everything here. He helps him find he doesn't actually help him find some meat, but he's using that as an excuse there.
So Isaac would have made a disastrous mistake had God not forced events such that he acted contrary to his original intent.
Wow. Okay.
As a result, even the implausible disguise concocted by Rebecca was successful.
Okay, so he's trying to get him back on track. That's what God's doing. He's trying to get him back on track.
Yeah, well, God's like, well, he's never gonna bless this one, so
But that's the one that God wants to be blessed. So he
just makes it happen.
basically makes Isaac really open to suggestion, I guess. Like he'll just be convinced by whatever that costume is.
You know, disguise self. Good spell.
Like
that Freud show.
Right.
Like if
Sleep.
if one of you put on like a crown and I was legitimately convinced that you were king of something. Ah!
I'm
All hail!
bow peon. Now fetch me some salted bacon.
Go fuck yourself. I will do no such thing. I am
Off
now
with his head.
I'm now rebelling.
Hi, guys. This is the ASMR section.
Oh, shut up.
Hi, everyone.
How about we continue the reading?
Let's do that.
Okay, thanks. I don't know why we took all that time to talk about nothing.
Well, it's fun, and it's only 3 chapters today.
Yeah, it usually is for
Are they
Jubilees.
long?
Jubilees has longer chapters.
These?
What?
These are long?
Longer.
Oh, well. Please continue.
Okay. Yeah. So anyways, God basically just tricks him to make him do the right thing.
Yep.
He said, "Are you my son Esau?" He said, "I am your son." Then he said, "Bring it to me and let me eat some of what you have caught, my son, so that I may bless you." He then brought him food, and he ate. He brought him wine, and he drank. His father Isaac said to him, "Come close and kiss me, my son." He came close and kissed him. When he smelled the fragrant aroma of his clothes, he blessed him and said, "Indeed, the aroma of my son is like the aroma of a full field that the Lord has blessed. May the Lord grant to you and multiply for you your share of the dew of heaven and the dew of the earth. May he multiply grain and oil for you. May the nations serve you and the people bow to you. Become Lord of your brothers. May the sons of your mother bow to you. May all the blessings with which the Lord has blessed me and blessed my father Abraham belong to you and your descendants forever. May the one who curses you be cursed, and the one who blesses you be blessed."
So this is an adaptation of Genesis 27:28 through 29, which is a lot shorter. It says, "May God give you of the dew of heaven and of the fatness of the earth and plenty of grain and wine. Let peoples serve you and nations bow down to you. Be Lord over your brothers, and may your mother's sons bow down to you. Cursed be everyone who curses you, and blessed be everyone who blesses you."
Yeah. Though kind of the same stuff we heard earlier in the chapter too. Or that was last chapter, sorry.
Yep.
Either
The
way.
major difference is the extra line in which Isaac gives to Jacob all the blessings that Abraham had and he received before him. The author seems to have sensed that something was missing from Isaac's words. which
Maybe I should read
focused-
the section.
Yeah.
Yeah, after Isaac had finished blessing his son Jacob, and Jacob had left his father Isaac, he hid. And then continue on, and his brother Esau arrived from his hunting.
So
This is the weird textual one that you were pointing out at the start of the show.
yeah, the 25 AB
Yeah.
thing.
So,
So Genesis,
it goes from so you have 25, right? And
Yeah.
that's cut up.
Yeah.
They're the first two parts and the third part. And then it continues on.
yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. I'm guessing it's just an extrapolation.
Yeah, they're probably different sections. Well, yeah, they're different sections.
Yeah.
Just within a verse, it gets cut off.
So,
yeah.
anyways, did you have something? You were reading something until I interrupted you.
No, it'll make more sense after you're done.
Okay.
25 AB.
Yeah, I just read 25 AB.
Oh, you just finished 25 AB?
Yeah.
Okay. Genesis closes this scene of blessing by reporting simply that Isaac concluded his words and Jacob left the room. Jubilees 26:25a says the same, but adds the detail that Jacob hid. It would seem a cowardly thing for him to do, Considering then 27:4, he will show no fear of his older brother. Perhaps one is to imagine that he knew if the two met at the door, it would be awkward to explain to Esau I had borrowed his best clothes and was wearing animal hides as accessories. Such an encounter was a real possibility, since the phrasing in Genesis 27:30 implies that Esau arrived just after Jacob left.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense why he would hide there.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, so I want to point out here on the background. So right here next to me, you can. Am I pointing to him? Okay, you can see the face of Esau coming back in, and I didn't actually notice it when I picked this picture as a background, but I don't know what you were doing there. It was the other side.
I was letting him see the background.
The rest of it, okay. Well, either way, I didn't know that Esau was back there, and then I looked back there when pulled up the picture again, and it was just really creepy.
Ooh, that is.
Look at him. Look at his creepy face. Damn it, Esau.
Are you scared?
I am scared. Maybe I should
Are you gonna
hide.
have nightmares.
I'm gonna hide is what I'm gonna do.
Yep.
This is why it's a Halloween episode. Real
Ooh,
scary.
Real spooky.
Spooky.
Either way, he too prepared food and brought it to his father. He said to his father, "Let my father rise and eat some of what I have caught, and so that you may bless me." His father Isaac said to him, "Who are you?" He said to him, I am your firstborn, your son Esau. I have done what you ordered me." Then Isaac was absolutely dumbfounded and said, Who was the one who hunted, caught something for me and brought it? I ate some of everything before you came and blessed him. He and all his descendants are to be blessed forever." When Esau heard what his father Isaac said, he cried out very loudly and bitterly and said to his father, "Bless me too, father." He said to him, "Your brother came deceptively and took your blessings." He said, "Now I know the reason why he was named Jacob. This is now the second time that he has cheated me. The first time he took my birthright, and now he has taken my blessing." Ooh. Oh, this is good. Good stuff.
Yeah, so Esau's response to the shattering new parallels that of his father, as Isaac had literally trembled a great trembling, so Esau cries out a great and bitter cry. Did you read 29?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Also, Matthew, in the chat, we're sorry to hear about your dad. Our condolences go out to.
Yeah, that sucks.
How did that happen? I'm sorry.
That's rough.
But you know what? We're gonna put on a show.
Yeah,
That's what we're doing.
We're going to continue doing that for a long time. It's been a year now, roughly.
A year of this.
A year of this. Apocrypha.
Yeah. Let's see. Do you have some commentary? Because I just stopped at the verse. Yeah, I just ended at verse 30.
At the beginning of verse 30?
I just finished verse 30.
You just finished verse 30.
Yeah. But yeah, either way, Esau's like super mad because he just got cheated.
He's justifiably angry.
Yeah.
I mean, you would be too, I guess.
Absolutely, yeah.
This guy, this Jacob guy.
Yeah.
You wrote a song about.
Oh, yeah. That song, there was this dude in my class, in our class, I guess.
Yeah.
Jacob, and he was like, "Hey, write a song about me." So I wrote a song about Jacob.
Wow.
That's some good music.
Incredible.
It was very basic and really not very good. He said, "Have you not saved a blessing for me, father?" Isaac said in reply to Esau, "I have just now designated him as your Lord." I have given him all his brothers to be servants. I have strengthened him with an abundance of grain, wine, and oil. So what shall I now do for you, my son? So he's just aghast at what he has done.
Yep.
All out of stuff now.
He's like,
He could.
I just made him your ruler.
Could unbless him.
You could. You really could. I guess that's not how blessings worked.
I guess not. Once you say it, it's out there. It can't be undone.
I
Yeah.
only had one.
God, and his birthright too. Man, short end of the stick there, Esau. Sorry, buddy. Esau said to his father Isaac, "Do you have just one blessing, father?" Okay, so this was a there was a supply of blessings.
Yeah, I guess.
May I have some more
What
blessings?
what verse is that in?
That was 32.
32.
Yeah, do you have just one blessing?
Yeah, it doesn't really say
That's a bummer.
anything about it. Nope.
Want to know more about these blessings? Yeah, he doesn't have one. Bless me too, Father. Then Esau cried loudly.
Right, because there's nothing left for him.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
He's like a slave to his brother now.
Yeah. Jacob's a dick.
Yeah.
Isaac said in reply to him, "The place where you live is indeed to be away from the dew of the earth and from the dew of heaven above. You will live by your sword and will serve your brother. May it be that if you become great and remove his yoke from your neck, then you will commit an offense fully worthy of death, and your descendants will be eradicated from beneath the sky."
So it's an adaptation of Genesis 27:39 through 40. See, away from the fatness of the earth shall your home be, and away from the dew of heaven on high. By your sword you shall live, and you shall serve your brother. But when you break loose, you shall break his yoke from your neck. Two read similarly until the words of Genesis translated when you break loose that stand alongside if you become great in Jubilees. The form in the Masoretic text is a crux. Has some Hebrew word that I'm not sure what it is.
Okay.
I guess Torach or something. Has the root ruch or something.
You're getting, well, it's closer than I would have done, so.
Yeah. Wandering restlessly. The reading in Ethiopic Jubilees, you have become great, more likely reflects the reading on the SP.
Sumerian Pentateuch.
Yep, Sumerian Pentateuch. Become wide/great. The line provides time for when the descendants of Esau would become so powerful that they could free themselves from subjugation to Jacob's progeny. That is the end of the prediction in Genesis. But in Jubilees, extricating themselves will be the prelude to disaster. By revolting against their rightful lot of subservience, they will be violating the divine order as established in the blessing. Jacob should rule over his kin. Their refusal to accept what God had ordained for them would be a mortal sin, and it would lead to the extermination of Esau's line. A partial fulfillment of the prediction will come in Jubilees 37 through 38.
Ooh,
this is
spicy.
no
Can't
blessing for Esau. It is a forecast of doom for him and his offspring.
You know, logically, wouldn't this forecast of doom also apply to the other children?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
But who cares about that?
Yeah, I guess who cares? Either way.
So Jubilees 26 ends with the reproduction of Genesis 27:41.
Yeah, I'm going to finish this off here. Esau kept threatening Jacob because of the blessing with which his father had blessed him. He said to himself, "The time of mourning for my father is now approaching. Then I will kill my brother Jacob." Ha 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 ha. I can just see him laughing. Ha 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 ha. He's already, but that, you know what? We got to leave it off on a cliffhanger, at least for now, because we are going into the next chapter, chapter 27.
Whoa!
Well, I guess you could call this intermission or whatever, but it's not really intermission because
you can go to the lobby now and get yourself a treat. It's intermission time. Whoop-de-doo.
Amazing. Thank you. You are back from intermission. Hopefully you have treats for yourselves, just like we said.
We gave you so much time.
Yeah. So welcome back for Act 2.
Just like with ad blockers, some of these videos that have intentional ads in them nowadays, they're like, and we'll be back after the break. And welcome back, because there's no ad.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
That kind of... Yeah, that happens a lot. We got those ad blockers on. Let's see. So
chapter 27.
Yeah, chapter 27. So the end of chapter 26 left Jacob in a precarious position. Yeah. He had obtained the patriarchal blessings under questionable circumstances, and his brother wanted to kill him as a result. The current chapter shows how Jacob escaped the dangerous situation at home and set out on a journey that would introduce the next major phase in his life. As the reader would expect by now, the ever-vigilant and resourceful Rebecca was the one who made the arrangements to protect her favorite son. Oh, man, Rebecca. This nepotism, that's not cool.
Oof.
As for the textual witnesses, the full Ethiopic version is joined by the Latin translation for verses 11 through 24, the first two words, and by 1Q17 and 4Q222, fragment 2, and 4Q... So 4Q222, fragment 2, preserves parts of verses 6 through 7, while 1Q17 has letters and words from verses 19 through 20. Little of the Hebrew text survives on these pieces, but the chapter once again closely follows the wording of Genesis, so that one can often infer the Hebrew original from the Masoretic text and Sumerian Pentateuch.
You can just infer what the original was.
You know, if the whole text is like following like super closely and there is like some evidence for a missing part of a text, but you know what like the full one is, at least in one of them, it is an inference. So like the conclusion makes sense. I'm not going to say it's not 100%. Let's be fair here. It doesn't give you knowledge. It is an inference. We have no other potential candidates for what it could be. So,
I mean, I think could be anything.
It could be anything.
Anything at all.
But I think it's more likely that it would at least have something to do with the original text.
Probably.
There you go. That's it. Yeah.
But not definitely.
No, of course not definitely.
Anyway.
You know, I don't know if anyone is familiar with this. I forget the specific manuscript, but you know those the genealogy in Matthew? I think it's in Matthew, right? No, Matthew's not the one. Does Matthew have a genealogy? Yeah, it does. Didn't Luke also? I think those are the two with the genealogy. By the way, for Matthew, the genealogy, there's one scribe who really royally messed it up. So whatever he was copying from had columns, and instead of going one column here, one column here, one column here, he would translate it across. So people had sons that were not the right sons, and they had fathers that were certainly not the right fathers, and it was all sorts of messed up. It just very funny stuff. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
It's great. There are a couple manuscripts like that.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Well, why don't I get into chapter 27 then?
I don't know why not.
Oh, okay, yeah. I also don't know for the chat. I thought my notifications were on. Keep missing the channel live. Yes. Please make sure your notifications are on. Because we love it when you're here live, and a lot of people don't do that. And if you're on a phone or something,
you and your whole family, and go. You have kids. You gather them around the atheist Sunday school screen
and click that bell too.
Yep.
To make sure you get that notification. Either way, but
yes, it's very scary. We've all seen the bell and how terrifying it can be, but it is worth clicking for our channel. I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's continue.
Rebekah was told in a dream what her older son Esau had said. So Rebekah sent and summoned her younger son Jacob and said to him, "Your brother Esau will now try to get revenge against you by killing you. So then, my son, listen to me. Set out and run away to my brother Laban to Haran. Stay with him for a few days until your brother's anger turns away and he stops being angry at you and forgets everything that you've done to him. Then I will send and take you back from there."
So, the previous chapter ended with Esau plotting to kill Jacob, but keeping his plan private. He said it to himself. Yet, according to the very next verse in Genesis, this is so you can check in Genesis 27. The quote, "The words of her elder son Esau were told to Rebekah with no explanation for how she acquired the private information. One could speculate that Esau, among his other problems, could not keep a secret. But there is no hint of this in the text. The writer of Jubilees and other ancient expositors took different approaches to explain how Rebekah learned of Esau's intentions. In Jubilees, she was told in a dream what Esau was threatening. And here's some other ones. So in I think the Targum, I am not fully aware of what this one is. Genesis 27:42. She learns it through the Holy Spirit. As a result, Rebekah once more summoned Jacob.
Jacob said, "I'm not afraid. If he wishes to kill me, I will kill him."
Oh, boy.
She said to him, "May I not lose my 2 sons in one day?"
Okay, Rebekah, you have been making Esau's life hell.
Yeah, you've been ruining Esau's life.
You have been turning his brother against him.
You literally turned him into
One
a slave.
And now you're like,
sociopathic
I
step at a
couldn't
time."
bear if my sons died. Shut up,
Yeah,
Rebekah.
Rebekah.
Let's continue.
Yeah, let's continue. Jacob said to his mother, Rebekah, "You are of course aware that my father has grown old, and I notice that he has difficulty seeing. If I left him, he would consider it a bad thing because I would be leaving him and going away from you. My father would be angry and curse me. I will not go. If he sends me, only then will I go." Rebekah said to Jacob, "I will go in and tell him. Then he will send you." Rebekah went in and said to Isaac, "I despise my life because of the 2 Hittite women whom Esau has married. If Jacob marries one of the women of the land who are like them, why should I remain alive any longer? Because the Canaanite women are evil."
Okay, so she's mad because he is, in her eyes, trying to corrupt her other kid. Is that what I'm getting here?
She is presenting an excuse to convince Isaac to tell Jacob to go to her brother's house. And the best excuse that she has is that he's not married and she doesn't want him to marry a Canaanite woman.
Right.
Um,
What verse was that?
Verse 8.
Okay. Yeah, so even here, though Isaac gives Jacob the patriarchal blessing, and this time is fully aware he is speaking to Jacob, he still does so only at Rebekah's urging. She went to Isaac and made her case by reminding him of the Hittite wives whom Esau had married. She underscored the point by adding a description of the women to the end of the sentence. To the end of the sentence in Genesis 27:46, quote, because the Canaanite women are evil. She by no means wanted Jacob to repeat Esau's error, although in Jubilees it seems she had no need to fear she would, because of his earnest assurances to her. Yeah.
So Isaac summoned his son Jacob, blessed and instructed him, and said to him, do not marry any of the Canaanite women. Set out, go to Mesopotamia, to the house of Bethuel, your mother's father. From there take a wife from the daughters of Laban, your mother's brother. May the God of Shaddai bless you, El Shaddai. May he make you increase, become numerous, and be a throng of nations.
Yeah, so let's quickly just,
Well, let me finish the verse. May he give the blessings of my father Abraham to you and to your descendants after you, so that you may possess the land where you wander as a foreigner, and all the land that the Lord gave to Abraham. Have a safe trip, my son.
what an ending to that. Just have a safe trip. Have a good time.
Yeah.
So let's hit on a few things there, shall we?
Yeah.
So there are three different versions here. So whatever her motive, she succeeded, and Isaac finally got things right. The three versions of the scene, one in Genesis and two in Jubilees, read as follows, and then they do like a comparative analysis of those. Isaac commands Jacob to follow the practice set forth by Abraham when he ordered his servant to fetch a wife for Isaac from his extended family, the family of Nahor and Bethuel, who had remained in Haran. After the instructions and blessings that Isaac gave to Jacob on this occasion, there could be no question whether Jacob was the rightful patriarchal heir. Yeah, and some of these, it compares Genesis and the two Jubilees accounts, and there are a couple differences, not too many. May God Almighty bless you and make you fruitful and numerous. May the God of Shaddai bless you, and all that same stuff. So just slightly different translations there, maybe even different textual variations as well.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing these are from... Okay, so yeah, few actual variant readings, that is, ones not due to the different English translations cited for Genesis and Jubilees. Separate Genesis 28, 1 through 4 from Jubilees 27, 9 through 11. Verse 9... or cross-reference Genesis 28:1, his son, Jacob. Addition of his son agrees with Rebekah's way of referring to Jacob in 25:1, where she also addresses him directly as my son. And there are a couple others there. So Mesopotamia, for example, not Padan Aram, is also one. Here, Jubilees agrees with the Septuagint tradition. So yeah, just a couple there. Anyways.
So this is like a really dysfunctional family.
Absolutely.
Everyone's going behind each other's backs.
Normal to me.
They're like, you gotta commit the incest. You gotta go find your cousin.
Only the right incest.
Only the right incest.
Because let's face it, there's some wrong incest.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So Isaac sent Jacob away. He went to Mesopotamia to Laban, the son of Bethuel the Aramean, the brother of Rebekah, Jacob's mother. After Jacob had set out to Mesopotamia, Rebekah grieved for her son and kept crying.
Here's before we get into this, something kind of neat. So Isaac sent Jacob away to Mesopotamia. That is all Rebekah had asked him to do, but he had done much more by blessing him. The names Mesopotamia and the gentilic use for Laban Soriawi, or Latin city, are indicators that a Greek translation of Jubilees underlies both the Ethiopic and Latin versions of the book.
Okay. Isaac said to Rebekah, "My sister, do not cry for my son Jacob, because he will go safely and return safely. The Most High God will guard him from every evil and will be with him, because he will not abandon him throughout his entire lifetime. For I well know that his ways will be directed favorably wherever he goes, until he returns safely to us and we see that he is safe. Do not be afraid for him, my sister, because he is just in his way. He is perfect. He is a true man. He will not be abandoned. Do not cry." So Isaac was consoling Rebekah regarding her son Jacob, and he blessed him. Jacob left the well of the oath to go to Haran during his first year, the second week, the 44th Jubilee, 2115.
So the writer dates Jacob's departure to the year 2115, the year after the previous major event in the text.
He arrived at Luz, that is on the mountain, that is Bethel, on the first of the first month of the week. He arrived at the place in the evening, turned off the road to the west of the highway during this night, and slept there because the sun had set.
So let's compare this to... so Jubilees further supplements the terse narrative in Genesis as it describes the situation. So you just read the Jubilees version. Let's compare that to the Genesis one. He came to a certain place and stayed there for the night because the sun had set.
Yes.
Yeah, so quite different there.
He took one of the stones of that place and set it in place for his head beneath the tree. He was traveling alone and fell asleep.
So, and just like we just went over, here's another one comparing it to Genesis. Taking one of the stones of the place, he put it under his head and lay down in that place. The reference to, the addition of a tree there. So the reference to that tree is intriguing. There is no tree in Genesis 28:11, and prior to the notice, Jubilees had also not mentioned one. It's likely that the tree where he stopped is the one recorded in Genesis 35:8, and also Jubilees 32:30. When Deborah, Rebekah's nurse, died in Bethel, quote, she was buried under an oak below Bethel, so it was called Alon Bakuth, Genesis 35:8. In Jubilees, the verse reads, "They buried her below the city, beneath the oak near the stream." He named that place the stream of Deborah and the oak of mourning for Deborah. And that's the Jubilees one. The two visits of Jacob to Bethel are tied together in a number of ways, and this may be another, if small, example of the connections between them in Jubilees. Yeah, that Jacob was traveling alone could easily be inferred from the context in Genesis, though the text does not make it explicit.
Yes. That night, he dreamed that a ladder was set up on the earth and its top was reaching heaven, that angels of the Lord were going up and down it, and that the Lord was standing on it. He spoke with Jacob and said, "I am the God of Abraham, your father, and the God of Isaac. The land on which you are sleeping I will give to you and your descendants after you. Your descendants will be like the sands of the earth. You will become numerous toward the west, the east, the north, and the south. All the families of the nations will be blessed through you and your descendants."
Yeah, we remember this scene from Genesis.
Yes.
Very iconic.
Yes.
Dynastic.
Instead of the nations, Latin reads the earth.
I mean, that makes sense.
"As for me, I will be with you. I will guard you wherever you go. I will bring you back safely to this land, because I will not abandon you until I have done everything that I have said to you." Jacob said in his sleep, "This place is indeed the house of the Lord, but I did not know it. He was afraid and said, This place, which is nothing but the house of the Lord, is awe-inspiring, and this is the gate of heaven.
Ooh.
Jacob.
Gate of heaven.
Yeah. The gate of heaven is Jacob's ladder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Jacob, upon arising early in the morning, took the stone that he had placed at his head and set it up as a pillar for a marker. He poured oil on top of it and named the place Bethel. But at first the name of the area was Luz. Jacob vowed to the Lord, If the Lord is with me and guards me on this road on which I am traveling and gives me food to eat and clothes to wear so that I return safely to my father's house, then the Lord will be my God.
So before we continue there, about Luz, here's some neat little stuff. So Jacob apparently awakens only in Jubilees 27:26. When he does, he takes the stone that he had lodged near his head and puts it to a certain use. In Genesis, he set it up for a pillar, but in Jubilees, he set it up for a marker. Two different words are used here. The writer will do the same in verse 27b, where Genesis 28:22 again refers simply to a pillar. It may be that the author, in distinction from Genesis, felt some unease about the idea of a patriarch erecting a pillar, a term suffused with idolatrous associations, of course, when you're talking about
the Asherah.
Yeah, and the high places when you set up the worship stones. Yeah. So I could totally get that. The addition of for a marker or for a sign would then indicate that there was nothing cultic about the pillar, even though Jacob set it up at a place named Bethel, a city that would have its own sanctuary in later times. It merely marks a place. There are plenty of place markers in the ancient Near East.
Yeah.
It was just helpful to have them because with the civilization's growing so large.
Well, it says here, also, this stone that I have set up as a pillar for a marker in this place is to become the house of the Lord.
Yeah, so exactly. It is important and it is cultic, yeah. Yeah. So continuing on here, merely marks a place. This is the point where Genesis finally discloses its former and present name. Jubilees had dispelled any mystery about the location by introducing them at the beginning of the story, but the writer copies the text of Genesis and thus repeats them at this juncture. In verse 19, he had mentioned Luz first and identified it with Bethel. Here he follows Genesis 28:19 in saying that it first had the name Luz, but Jacob renamed it Bethel after the revelation to him. The expression in the Hebrew versions of Genesis, whole bunch of Hebrew, apparently, but the Sumerian Pentateuch version is different, in which one of the words means but, was read by the Septuagint translator as though it were a two-word place name, Sulamuzde. In Jubilees, the words were properly understood, so that only Luza, that's the Sumerian Pentateuch spelling, is given as the original name of the area.
All that you have given me, I will indeed tithe to you, my God. And that's the end.
That's the end of it.
That's the end of our reading for the day. It's not the end of Jubilees.
No, we got quite a lot more to go.
Yeah, but you know what? There's we're 100 pages in to this book,
and there are 50 chapters.
And there are 50 chapters.
I mean,
unless there are 165 pages in the book. So
we're getting there.
We're about 2/3, almost.
Yeah, it's nice that we're getting through that.
Yeah.
because Jubilees ain't that great.
Yeah, and then we're doing Tobit.
Yeah, but Tobit, I was reading over this a little bit, and I just wanted to read the first, just the introductory paragraph here for Tobit once we get to it. Yeah, let's see. So very brief summaries of the tale abound in the scholarly literature, including Richardson's excellent one-sentence description. A delightful story of the afflictions of a pious Israelite and the adventures of his dutiful son, who make a journey in the company of a disguised angel and returns with a bride and the means to restore the father's health and wealth.
Wow.
Yeah. At least it's going to...
Tobit is
gonna be better.
recognized as fiction.
It's going to be a lot better than this. Let's be fair.
There are more books in the Apocrypha, of course.
There are so many books.
There's actually a list of books.
There's more than that, too.
Of course, there's more than that. But there's a list of books in here, which I think it's the difference between the Protestants and the Catholics.
Sure.
Right? And they list first Esdras,
Maccabees
second
2 are in there,
Esdras,
probably.
yeah, Tobit, Judith, additions to Esther.
Yeah, I don't think these are just these are the big apocryphal things.
Yeah,
I don't think it's necessarily the dividing line between
the Wisdom of Solomon. We got to do that eventually.
Yeah.
Ecclesiasticus, we already did that. Baruch, the
Yeah.
letter of Jeremiah, the prayer of Azariah, and the song of the three young men. Susanna, Bel and the Dragon.
Yeah, that's another one.
The prayer of Manasseh. First Maccabees and second Maccabees.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
And I think if I'm reading this correctly, this is just the books that are in the Catholic canon that aren't other ones.
Well, I think the list is different. But anyways,
And longer.
thank you everyone for joining us. We hope you enjoyed the show today. If you did, please drop a like, because it actually does help us out. Because the more interaction there is with fans, the more it gets recommended. So that interaction is key. So definitely drop a like, because it actually does help us out, and it's just a click. Just one little click.
Yeah, it helps us out a lot.
And Chris, if you want to go to the merchandise tab over there, we can just start talking about our shirts,
Which you can pin.
which I already set up.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. There you go. Click the right button. That's good. Either way,
You can also donate to us. We have a 666 drive. Once we hit $666 in donations, we will be getting a Thetan meter, and we will be seeing who the most clear is, and we'll be manipulating it, and we'll be telling you all about Scientology. We also have a Patreon.
yeah, lots of cool stuff on Patreon. We got the t-shirt giveaway coming up. So if you want the potential to win a t-shirt, you can become a $10 patron, and we'll put you on the wheel, and you'll spin the wheel, and then you could win a shirt.
Yeah, and you can also be on this show, on our other weekly show.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. There's also an Amazon wish list whereon you can get us books to add to this table so that our shows become increasingly long and in-depth.
Yep.
And just so we rip out more of our hair just trying to find the book that has the thing we're looking for.
So much hair.
Yeah.
Yep. But
You know who has to clean that, right?
Well, we know you don't clean it.
Uh-huh.
Yep. And we also have Facebook and Twitter.
Yeah, Facebook and Twitter. All links to all that stuff is all in the description. If Nightbot I've seen Nightbot a couple times post some stuff. But either way, yeah, thanks everyone for joining us. Facebook and Twitter, free to follow us there.
Yep.
And
we will
see you on Sunday.